If you are a filmmaker who make video commercial for a living and you have a hard time selling high ticket video projects, this video is for you. This is literally a problem that every single filmmaker that I talk to have. So here's the situation. You're trying to sell your clients a 30K, 50K video project and your clients ask you back, what is the ROI of such an expensive video project? Can I just do the video project for $1,000? I've seen some maybe coaches or some gurus saying that, okay, you need to talk about the results. You know, everyone say we're a problem solver. We need to talk about the results. Okay. And then, so here's the thing. Do you want to make $1 million? If you want to make $1 million, is it logical to invest 30K to make $1 million, right? So we hear a lot of these type of conversations, but I think video is just not something like paid media. You know, if you're paid media, you can literally say, okay, you put in $1, $10 comes out. You put in $10, $100 comes out, right? Paid media has this, you can do the math with paid media. With video, nobody can guarantee the result that you can produce with the video. The reason is video is just a tool. You cannot really guarantee how they use the video and you cannot guarantee where they use the video, right? So like, if that's the case, how can you guarantee a specific tangible result? You just cannot. And so I think the question itself is the wrong question. But at the same time, you cannot really blame your clients for asking the question because like, how would they know? I think the whole solution to this problem is that you really need to understand where your clients is coming from, right? And let's say we're talking about like the B2B sector, because the B2B sector is even harder to sell because a lot of them, they don't even believe in video. And imagine the boss, the CEO, gives the marketing director a specific budget, or maybe didn't give any budget, but asked the marketing director to go out and look for some video agency that can shoot a nice corporate video for them, right? So from the marketing director perspective, they're very stressed. They don't want to mess up this job. If the boss gave them 30K budget and then they find the wrong agency, they're going to be messed up, right? If the agency pitched them a 50K video project and then they tell the boss, hey, we need 50K, the boss gave them 50K, and then what if the video turned out not to be the way they wanted? Then he's going to get fired, right? Some problem is going to happen. So you have to think from their perspective. They have no experience and they don't know why videos are so expensive. So here's the thing that you need to establish with your client when talking about the value of a video. So video is not a money-making tool. It's more like the oil that you add in an engine, in a rusty engine. The engine is not working maybe. You cannot guarantee how well this engine is going to run because an engine is pretty complex. But what you can say is that if you don't add oil in this old engine, it's just not going to be smooth. It's not going to work very well. But how well it works, you cannot guarantee because it also depends on how this engine works. But you must add the oil, right? So the oil is going to make the engine much faster and much smoother. Here's what you need to think about when it comes to the value of your video. So the video is a tool to help your client deliver, communicate a specific message with their ideal clients. Okay, so that's the bridge, and there are a few things that a video does. So the first thing it needs to do is it needs to make it easy for your customer to deliver that message. And 2, it needs to be quick. And 3, it needs to have clarity. 4, it needs to be easily understand, especially if your the product is or the message is something very complex. It needs to be easily understandable. And 5, it needs to be memorable. Okay, so there's a lot of, you can even say more things, but these are, I would say, the main thing that you need to focus on. You might think, okay, obviously this is what video does, but no, you're not understanding this thing. You need to think from your client perspective. Okay, I'll give you an example. Let's say, and this is a real case scenario, by the way. So one of our clients, they have this new, I'm not going to mention the clients, but they have a very complex, a very specific tech device that they're about to launch to a very niche market, right? And the marketing director he's having a hard time to find a marketing plan to try to introduce this device to their client and how to even explain it. What B2B business, what they usually do is, okay, I have a device that I want to sell to my clients. We book a meeting with them, and then we have a bunch of slides. So here's my slide. Page number 1 is very good, very fast. Number 2, here's are the specs. Number 3, I don't know, like the price, or if you want to work with us. It's extremely boring. I'm telling you, it's so boring. And even if they have these trade show, these expos, it's literally the same. It just looks better, like they have these booth, but If you go to them, they will just give you maybe like a booklet, and then you can see, and it's a bunch of photos and then all the specs. It's extremely boring. People think just because you're in B2B, everyone should be able to accept boring stuff. That's just not the case. Even in the B2B sector, even if it's very boring, you need to make things interesting. You need to make things digestible, right? Even in this information, it needs to be digestible. Just because they came from maybe like a STEM field doesn't make them want to read all of these texts that you put on your slides or your little booklet. So this is the power of the video. If you have a very complex device that you're trying to sell to the clients, make a video talking about how exciting this device is, the power of this device. Okay, so create some scenes where this device is being used in real life. One of the most important thing when you're trying to sell, I would say even a product in the B2C sector, is you need to help your audience to imagine what's it's like to use that product. Okay, specifically in the B2B sector, if you want to help them sell it more smoothly, try to create scenes, even if you have to use 3D animations, to create scenes of that device being used in real time. So it helps the audience imagine what's it's like to use that thing. One of the hardest thing they have doing these sales conversation is the client just cannot imagine them using it, and they don't feel like, okay, why do I have to specifically use this one, and what difference it's gonna give me, right? So you can create video scenes of that device being used and create a scene of the benefit of the results. So let's say you have an industrial computer that needs to put into a truck, and the truck start using this industrial computer, and then it turns into a transformer, whatever. It does its thing, right? So you see the before, you see the after. Just show him. Human are, like we said, we are like very visual creatures. And you might think it's just stupid. Oh, does it make that big of a difference just because they see it? Yes, it does. It does make a difference. Just create this video, help them visualize the results of their product. Like I said, you cannot guarantee that they're going to make a sale, but you definitely can help them make the sale. Just like I said, it's the oil in the engine. So you have to think video that way. Okay, so here comes to the sales conversation when you're having with your clients. When you start the conversation, ask them, has it always been easy selling the products in your company? Most of the time they're going to say no. And I mean, if they say yes, then why are they even talking to you on the first place, right? So they're going to say, might not be that easy, we still do it and whatever. You try to understand the product, trying to find out if they have any case study, find out what are the results that they generated, and say, okay, tell them the thing that we do with these videos is we help your clients understand the value of your product or services. That's the number one thing. Okay, so once they realize that they really need this tool to help them like smoothen the communication process, then they will know the value of it. And whether or not they want to pay that amount, again, is up to their marketing budget. But I'm just telling you, don't go to the ROI side of things, because you're never going to win. These type of non-tangible value, it's just a lot more difficult to sell. But here's the good thing. If you can do that without spending a lot of money, in terms of your cost, then you're gonna make a lot of profit as well. So how do you really know if they're gonna pay you a lot of money for the video project? So here's the thing: the harder it is for them to sell that complex product, the more they're willing to pay you to make it easier for them to sell that product.